Greetings, everybody! Welcome to Children of Rath, the D&D meets Magic the Gathering game, a Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the Magic the Gathering world of Dominaria. Joining me, of usual, are my cast of characters here in the color spectrum of magic, as you can see below. As our adventures continue, so currently they have board a ancient submersible that was repurposed. Artifice submersible, and are heading under the sea to meet with members of the the Vodalian Empire in the Voda Sea, with hope of not only getting access to their material there, but perhaps a safe passage to the ruins, the Talarian ruins, and the academy that is under the sea next to it. So, why don't we go around, have everybody kind of give a shout out to their character, let them know how they're doing and such. We'll go to our color wheel of normality with Wintress. How are things with Wintress, Lindsay?
We were doing stuff? How'd I get here?
Uh-huh.
I thought we had to ride a boat back, but I don't remember that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. The distraction was real. Of course, Joe, how's Claude doing?
We all live in a yellow submarine.
It is, in fact, not yellow. It is, I will have to look up the colors, but I don't think it's yellow.
Gunmetal, probably.
No.
Okay, how about a mellow submarine?
With our party, mellow.
Well,
really?
you have two people who are
All right.
high all the time.
It's red, green, and yellow. Thank you very much. It is the colors of the Segovian leviathan, which its form is based off of.
Okay, we all live in a partially yellow submarine.
Yes, it's got a nice yellow bottom to it.
I'm holding my breath. I'm saving the air for everyone else.
Uh-huh. How about Maxwell? How's Maxwell doing?
I'm doing good. I'm probably like the least concerned about the idea of traveling underwater, given that, you know, I don't have lungs.
What about your robes? They'll get all wet.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's about the worst thing. I mean, you are immune to like pressure damage because you're just bones, so you don't really like crush the same way as other things.
Yeah, the real inconvenience would be like if I got stuck down there, I'd have to walk all the way back to like however far the shoreline is. And that's just tedious.
Yeah.
I just hold on to you and let you walk.
Just like because you don't breathe, you just get all the air out of your lungs. You're just sitting there like holding on, like.
Does Claude normally breathe?
Yeah.
he
I mean, he has
life.
to breathe. I have to breathe to talk too.
Yeah.
It's
Not
just I don't
everyone gets
have
magic
to.
tongues.
I just don't have to breathe to survive.
Mm-hmm. We only have one of you that can maybe speak with merfolk when you're under the sea, and that's Maxwell, because magic talking.
Yeah, gotta love it. Sorry.
Anyway, Catherine. How things going with Catherine?
Catherine's pretty excited. This is a machine that we're in, and it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a boat, but not.
Yeah. And I particularly love seacraft. I was a shipwright.
Yeah. So it's like, could I make more of these? And how about
You're
Carrie?
not a shipwright anymore. You're a discount bounty.
I'm still a shipwright.
discount bodyguard.
You're now a ship left.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Carrion, how's Carrion doing?
Well, Carrie really doesn't like enclosed spaces or water.
So not
Water
well.
because she's drowned like 3 times over the course of this adventure already.
Uh-huh.
Enclosed spaces because who likes enclosed spaces?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's not happy right now.
Mm-hmm.
But libraries.
Mm-hmm.
And you're high.
And she's very high.
Mm-hmm. It helps.
I wouldn't smoke on the sub.
Yeah, you were
Too
probably...
late.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hot box now.
Fine.
You can kind of watch as the scene of going under the water goes by you. The first thing you kind of see is that you're going through an area that seems to have like a little bit more vibrant life. There are various rock formations and things, and all kinds of fish that seem to be all around. as you're going by, a very large shark kind of passes by the one window.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
As it seems to come up to, like, check out your sub. And then, it kind of, like, just is kind of circling around it. Soon, though, you begin to pass into the darkness down below. After about a couple hours of seemingly you kind of, like, almost peek out, traveling deeper, you feel like you aren't traveling necessarily very deep at the moment. You're kind of staying in more of, like, still where there's light out, where you can kind of get a little bit of light of the sun. Jonah will come back at some point in time and inform you that your plan is to take the submersible pretty much at about a depth of between 100 and 200 feet, kind of stay within that zone, depending on how the weather is on the surface. He will let you know from experience that the weather on the surface can have an effect deep in the water. That's why, depending on how deep the go, will depend on how it seems like the turbulence from the weather is. The plan is to head to a smaller settlement within the Vidalian Empire, one of the outliers near close to Orvada. From there, you should be able to arrange information on how to get to Voda Slinn, the city that you're seeking. Or Slinn Voda, I'm sorry. Slinn Voda, of course, being the city on the back of the leviathan that is moving around. And you want at least information about, like, perhaps how to get there. Nim will inform you that he will have to negotiate that. It will be a slight negotiation to figure it out, but I should be able to convince them. Again, previous trade relations with the Emperor and the Empress should keep things in good hands. Well, simple is probably the best way to say it. Hopefully simple. We'll have to see.
And civil as well, hopefully.
Well, things have been civil up till now, so I don't see any problem necessarily.
And just trade relations, no other kind, correct?
Why would there be other kind? Unless any of you have something you're interested in which case, I will not discourage it, but please try to stay civil in your own rights.
Civil is my middle name.
Do you have a last name?
Listen, don't judge me, alright? I may be a walking, talking skeleton, but I'm allowed to have several names.
You see, it requires someone like myself to know about some of the... who's had trade relationships with the Vidalians, to know about some of their slight inner secrets. And that includes Slinn Voda, which is, in fact, a very interesting fact. In the Vidalians' tongue, this sea that we are traveling in is referred to as Slinn Voda. Fun fact. Any other questions for now?
No, I'm ready to go, as they say.
After a little, like, Jonah will eventually come back out and inform you, like, there usually are some pockets of air within the Vidalians' undersea areas. Even they enjoy places with out of the sea, although they can live directly in it, usually for various purposes. Often certain items such as books and materials like that don't pertain well to under the water, so they'll have areas of air. Hopefully we can find one close, or that we can get dock the ship within. If not, within the supplies we do have some special suits which should allow you to at least traverse the basics of under the sea to a location. Just warn you, they have very limited supply of air.
I'm not much worried about that.
Same here.
I am.
Claude, you are well, I guess you technically are immune to... I don't know if you're immune to pressure.
I don't know.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
I still have squishy organs.
Yeah, you still would squish pretty well. Like
I can still eat and everything, so.
yeah. You probably squish still. Like the only one that doesn't squish is Captain Bones because they're at least tough enough to like withstand.
Okay, but as long as my suit's pressurized, I'm not breathing in the oxygen, so I don't have to worry about oxygen content.
It'll be about a. Are you doing anything over this time period? It will be quite a while before you arrive. Let me put it that way.
I think we had talked about looking into the engine with supervision.
Mm-hmm. You probably can get a couple of chances to at least look at some things. Like, Jonah will occasionally have to check up on things with the engine, and you're allowed to kind of step in and look in the entryway, at least at that point in time. It seems to be the engine itself seems very similar to some of the engines you've seen on the powered ships, though it is more compact than what you see in those, and there are some differences between them that are a little unusual that you really haven't seen before.
I'm taking note.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to play some cards?
Sign me up.
Where are you playing them on? There are nice benches.
In between us.
Okay, so just on the floor, playing cards on the floor.
Yeah, why not?
Well, you could also, depending on how much room we have on the benches, you could play in between.
That's true.
On the bench.
Yeah, they're probably just metal benches that fold up to the back kind of folds down, and there's a place it makes it a little wider so you can put a bedroll down on there. It's not great.
So there you go. There's some room.
Mm-hmm. About half a day will actually pass in your journey, and at this point in time, you will actually start to dive deeper, as you're going down. Once again, Jonah will come back and be like, "Okay, we're diving down deep into the first settlement here. So I hope you all are safe and ready for this. It's going to be a little bit of a trip."
I'm excited.
Scary, I'm scared.
Anything we need to do?
Well, this is a small settlement we visited before in the submersible on one of our trips. Cherenai. They should be relatively friendly. Unfortunately, the only place that we can that we found to have oxygen there was a records type place within the elders' residence.
So we have to swim.
We were able to finagle a simple docking before, or close docking, so you probably will have to have the suits, but not for very long.
Do the suits come in my size?
We did prepare, because we had a week ahead of time. We did get some of the interns to prepare a suit for you.
Great. Oh,
I'm just going to look at Carrie and kind of give you a bit of a smile of, hope you're ready to swim.
Carrie's gonna take a long drag on her pipe.
Everybody's feeling a little calmer when Carrie drags in her pipe. Except for Claude and Maxwell, because neither of them are breathing right now. Maxwell can't, and Claude just is choosing not to.
I could
Who needs a nose?
but I also have poison resistance, so it might take a lot to affect me.
Mm-hmm. So, you will head, of course, down. Your ship will kind of deep dive into the depths, moving in through some of the deepest areas and getting into the dark. Eventually, these small lights will actually come on. Will seemingly be like start to glow on the roof. With Jonah coming in and kind of playing around with it to get it to work. Don't mind these. It's just a little bit of a phosphorescent fungus that we have in here that provides a little bit of light from the back areas here if you need it.
A fungus.
There's a fungus among us.
Ah, god damn it.
Yes. Anyway. If you want to take a look out, you might be able to see some things.
Carrie.
Sure, I'll look out the port.
You can see how it's getting dark, like pitch blackout. And for a bit, that's all you kind of see. All of a sudden, though, there seems to be a glow coming from the front of the ship that kind of illuminates the nearby area with light. You can see then, moving in the shadows is something large.
Do you think it's a whale? I've heard of whales.
Is he still back here?
No, he's currently in the front.
There's something large over there.
Probably fine. We are underwater. There are big things.
Sure, it's nothing worse than a dragon, right? Right?
True. Well,
Don't
Water
say
dragon?
it. There's an
Dragon.
underwater dragon. Oh,
could be something bigger than a dragon.
A sea snake.
but would it breathe fire?
Water fire.
Water.
The worst kind of fire.
Boiling
There are
water.
worse things than fire.
There are. Especially
Boiling
for,
maybe for
alive
some of
doesn't
us.
sound very good.
for most of us.
Have you ever had acid hit your bones?
Thankfully, no, and hopefully that never happens.
Oh, we can decorate his bones by etching them with acid.
No, no.
But
I
we
don't think he
can.
would like that.
I most certainly wouldn't. Don't even let that cross your
We
mind.
can write Carrie was here onto his bones.
No, that,
I could also write Maxwell owns you in blood on your body.
see, but all of this,
That's
a
weird.
wild term, especially for
Bad.
you.
all of this bad.
I didn't start it. All I said
Acid.
was acid.
How about we not etch anything on anyone? How's that?
Do you
Agreed.
think
I mean, unless
that
it's a tattoo.
Maxwell's bone still has marrow in it?
Probably not,
I
but
don't want to think about Maxwell's insides, especially because he doesn't really have insides.
The
also
inside
it's
of his intestines.
probably generally, if I had to guess, considered rude to think about and talk about someone's insides.
Who cares about that?
We're going a little robot-y here. Let me see.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That was all of us.
Do we want to change from central to
We
somewhere
are
else?
changed. It's something on my end. Oh God.
Oh,
I don't know
hello.
why that should help it.
Much better.
That sounds a lot better.
There
Mm-hmm.
you go.
For some god-awful reason, my Twitch chat was taking up incredible amounts of memory in Firefox.
Memory leak.
Yeah. So Twitch chat was just sucking.
Boy.
I will reopen it, and
Memories.
hopefully it's going to work this time, and not eat up like 20% of my CPU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yes, very odd. Fascinating. I don't think I've quite seen things from this angle. Most of the time I've had to go under the sea. It involves me either using some form of rudimentary teleportation magic. As I explained to you, I've got the item that can be used occasionally, and just wait down there until it's done, and then have some kind of magic to, well, breathe the water. Or it has been more or less more about the. Well, there was this one time that I had to travel somewhere under the water that it involved rocks and water breathing and a little bit of trouble.
Hmm. Can imagine. That sounds like it would be trouble.
Yes, unfortunately. That was quite an interesting time. Glad I learned many lessons since then and how to avoid some of these problems. Okay.
Lessons are good.
So you said you saw something large out there. Do you know what it is?
It's a boiling sea snake. That's what I think it is.
I have no idea. I do not know of the oceans.
As far as you know, Catherine, boiling sea snakes would not be this far away from Shiv because they live in the boiling seas.
Oh, wait, that's a real thing.
And they're about 20 feet long. You know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're a giant sea snake of that lives in the boiling seas of Shiv.
I'm
Terrible.
glad I guessed something that exists.
It's not boiling sea snakes. We're a bit too far, and that's a bit too big.
The movement kind of like soon after Claude notices it stops and kind of like disappears from anywhere you can see at least.
Maybe it's the Leviathan city. Slinn Voda.
Would it be that close to it? Would we?
Doesn't it move?
It's true, but we are on the edge of Vidalian territory at this point in time, as far as I know. They kind of leave a no man's land, I would say, of territory away from the coastline for a degree that they don't usually travel into. Though we might have penetrated the borders at some point in time, it's really hard to tell unless you're traveling under the sea or traveling over it. Most of the time they leave ships alone, but most folks either tend to go around the Voda Sea, or they are ready that they might be stopped by merfolk inspectors. That's a fine way of saying it. That's the pleasant way of saying it. There have been ships that have been known to have to pay heavy taxes for passing through the waters, especially if they're quite rude to those that bring them in. Anyway. Shall we just enjoy some of the darkness as we head deeper? Maybe we can notice something else out there.
Let's do it.
I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Alright, if you want to give me perception checks.
Yeah.
Checky choo, checky, checky.
Average.
It's darkness.
Let's see.
Above average.
But I also can see in
Below average.
Uh,
How do you have a -1?
maybe not having eyeballs would contribute to it.
No, I mean you should
He's
have.
not very
kidding.
wise.
You should have
He's not
jack of all
very-
trades.
A jack of all trades has not been applied, I don't think. to his
Wait,
character.
when did I get that?
Level 2.
There's no way. You can add half of your proficiency bonus rounded down. Wait.
unless you got a really bad wisdom.
There's a toggle for it.
Sorry, there is a toggle.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, let me put this on here. It is under your character sheet. If you go to where it says core bio spells, the gear at that side there, you can, not spells. If you go to your gear, and you go down to where it's got all the skills listed, at the bottom there it says jack of all trades.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're right.
And,
Yeah, you should apply that.
Okay, so the check mark's on it now.
yeah, so now you're less bad at things. Congratulations.
They're literally
Yeah.
less bad at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, now I'm at 0, so it's
It
not
would
like
be
that made a
8.
big
It
difference
wouldn't be
anyway.
not much. It would not be much of a difference because you rolled an 8.
Yeah.
True, but that could be the difference between success and failure at some.
So most of you, it's just darkness. And I can see how Carrion is not watching the deep dark waters.
No.
Hey, Carrion, look over here.
Harry, I
No.
still think it's a boiling sea snake.
You can note, all of you can kind of notice that there is like occasional like small fish and stuff out there. It's those of you with dark vision can definitely see better than with the lights that have turned on. But even then, it's like there's just something like empty about the water out here. Kazrin, as you're watching, you begin to see movement around the ship. At first, you see what appears to be a something. Maybe this.
Something.
Yeah, you can't quite. You only see it briefly, kind of getting it into the edge of your vision of some kind of fish-like creature, kind of moving in, kind of swimming in and out of your vision, just kind of touching it barely, like on the edge of where your dark vision will allow. That seemed quite large.
Mhm.
After a little while, you'll see that like coming up and kind of slowly moving into, almost mirroring your ship as it's going down, looks to be a very large shark.
Is Jonah here?
He's in the front right now.
So there's a large shark out there. I'm going to go let Jonah know. Kazrin stands up to go to the front.
Okay. You can knock on the door. Jonah will come to it and be like, yeah, yes? Do you need anything?
There's a very large shark following our descent.
Keep an eye on it. If it seems like it's making dangerous moves, we do have a few defensive measures on this thing. We've only had to test them once before, and depending on what we've got, it might be a little dangerous. But
You have, like, an airlock thing, right?
yeah.
I could potentially add a turret that could aid in defense if it comes to that.
Well, keep an eye on it and see what's going on.
Kaz.
Go ahead back. Yes.
Kaz,
Yes.
do you think it's a boiling sea shark?
No.
Just because he mentioned the boiling sea once, and everything's boiling.
The boiling sea is very far from here. It's an entirely. I'm pretty sure it's just a big shark. Oh, also, there's a big shark. I know that, like, I kind of mentioned that. I want to make sure it's clear. There's a big shark out there.
Those of you with
keep-
dark vision can
Do
now
you
actually
think-
see it as it's moved closer.
Keep an eye on the big shark.
Kazran,
Do you think the shark likes goblins?
I fucking hope not. Jesus.
Uh-oh.
Why would you think that?
Well, you're like a sea goblin, right? A
I'm
boiling
not.
Sea goblin?
Wow, way to
No.
assume.
I'm just a goblin that is on the sea sometime. There's no sea goblins.
Well,
Are you sure?
Yes!
Technically there are, but that's besides the point.
What the?
I don't know
Aquatic
them.
goblins.
Nomadic goblins?
No, there is a horrible type of creature that still exists in some numbers today, the razor fins, which are
Yeah.
like, they're kind of nomadic, half goblin, half merfolk creatures. So
So they're not really goblins.
yeah, they're goblin merfolks though. They're both technically.
Maybe it's a goblin shark.
Now that is a thing.
I know it is.
But we're a bit too high up in the water for a goblin shark.
Why can goblins become so many different things?
It's unrelated. Some fucking racist asshole decided to call it a goblin shark. When it is not, in fact, a goblin. There's no relation.
It's just a shark.
The shark that some racist prick decided to call it a goblin shark.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, it's so beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You were saying something about Kazra noticing something?
Yes. You notice that there seems to be like almost smaller things moving around the shark.
This is like a shark, right? Not like a mechanical shark that
No.
someone sent after us.
It looks like an actual shark.
Okay. Because I could have done some cool shit if it was. That's fine. What's the small thing? What are the...
It's really hard to tell. And at first you don't really understand, and then you notice that it seems to be a figure holding on to the fins. Like one on each of the, like the dorsal fin and each of the side fins that have kind of moved to it.
Boiling suckerfish.
And again, no.
Nothing's
no boiling.
boiling.
I'll be right back, and I'm going to step in and talk with Jonah again.
Mm-hmm.
See if this is normal.
Mm-hmm.
There are things riding on the shark.
Oh, sir, Professor, I think we should stop. I think we're being escorted.
Oh,
A
good.
patrol? A patrol? At this depth? I thought we wouldn't run into one until we were closer to the village. Everybody just be careful. We'll take care of everything from now. At least for now. If we need your help, we'll let you know.
Okay, I'll be sitting here.
Mm-hmm. Jonah will kind of like quickly close the door, and the vessel will seemingly feel like it will stop, and the engine will stop. If you observe, you will see that the shark will then kind of like match the movements of your ship, and then it will start to move around it, like it's swinging around towards the front. If you want to watch, it seems to be circling the vessel, and it will circle this vessel about 5 times before it will kind of like you'll notice the figures are on it. Until then, it kind of goes around the front for a second, and then you notice that the figure that was on the dorsal fin seems to be missing.
Oh dear.
And then you'll notice that the figure on the one fin you were watching is missing. As then you will see these this thing that looks like it's made out of like coral, almost in humanoid form, will kind of move up, brandishing a trident at each of the windows.
Poseidon?
Carl?
Coral.
I definitely
Carl!
want Coral in there.
It looks
It was
like
definitely Carl.
coral, like living, like armor of almost living coral.
I like living Carl better.
Ah, God! Why did you do this to me? How many of you are gonna strap to me? Like this? Oh God, the guy's named Carl strapped to you.
Carl Weezer strapped.
Just like you get multiples of him somehow. You clone him and then just like strap him all over your body.
I mean, isn't cloning possible?
Yes.
I'm just waving at. I'm just waving.
Yep, you'll
Hey,
wait.
Carrie, wave at the nice man.
You're not getting me to look out any windows.
You're actually
But
not
there's Carl out
sure
there.
of gender.
Okay, look at the nice person.
Individual.
No. I'm gonna stay right here in the middle of this goddamn ship.
I'm gonna sit next to Carrie and pat her on the back. So,
So, things will seemingly be quiet for a little while. These figures will just sort of like watch you.
I'm watching them.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of staying right where they are and keeping an eye on you.
Ooh. I'm going to breathe on the glass and write hi backwards.
Thunk. As it'll like hit the back end of its trident into the side of it, making a clunking
That's
noise.
rude.
they were just knocking. Like, can I knock on the door? Knock.
I'm not going to answer that door.
Yeah, I'm not opening the porthole.
Well, you don't
Yeah.
want to open it? Why? Why not?
It will flood and will
Oh.
drown.
That doesn't sound good at all.
No.
You have nothing to worry about, you bag of bones.
I mean, I still care about you guys to a degree, no?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, we're in this together.
I mean, I want to
And
say
your
hi
robes.
to the boiling sea people.
Again, not boiling. No boiling.
Was that audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
I killed it.
Okay, my mom killed a you-know-what.
Go clean it up, Lee.
No,
You
she's
know
got it.
I'm not sure which you-know-what, because there's plenty of you-know-whats.
A
that-
roach.
Oh,
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah.
She's good now, though.
because it could have been could have also been a spider, a centipede, scorpion,
Yeah.
rodent of
I-
some
That's
kind.
fair.
I think that was one of the mer people.
Yeah.
after they hit the glass, I killed it. As in the mood.
Murderers. Anyway, so yeah, after a little while, the two figures will kind of move over, and we'll grab the edge of we'll grab onto the shark's fins, and then you'll notice as it's continuing to circle you, the third one will be back, and then your ship will start to move again, and will continue to head down deeper. The shark will continue to accompany you for your journey, as your journey goes for about another hour. Before you can actually begin to notice there seems to be lights down here.
Not surprising. They still need to see.
Well, I mean, they might have dark vision, like some of you do.
Yes, but
I have
even
dark vision.
even with dark vision, you don't want to be in the dark all the time.
Most of the savage races kind of prefer that, because they're
The
jerks.
drow do it.
Well, the drow are
Well,
weird.
they're drow.
I always thought that the
But-
drow don't actually always use pure darkness too. They just use like very low lights with like, glowing funguses and stuff to give like ominous looks.
The Dwerger do it.
Yeah.
And probably the Svirfneblin.
Yeah, the Smurfdevlin went, but they're crazy.
Yeah.
But also the mermaid,
Like the
mer
Darrow
people
would
are-
too, but the Darrow are really crazy. And the Dwergar
The mer-
are really crazy also.
Well, the mer people. You also said read books. You can't. It's not going to be comfortable to read books in the dark.
I mean,
Unless you have dark vision.
Even
Yeah.
if you have dark vision, it's still going to be like. Okay, you can't enjoy paintings in the dark.
Sure you can.
You can't enjoy the colors.
Well, then paint it in black and white.
Then it's might as well be a charcoal drawing.
Yeah.
so
Some
you'll
good
see-
art.
So the lights get brighter, you can begin to notice the signs of what would be best called as civilization. It seems to be a number of buildings built into the sea floor of the stone and rock that probably come in various places. The sands and like ocean floor are the kind of like you kind of like see the areas, expanses of sand and various kind of rocks and little mountains and stuff that kind of litter the sea floor, and in amongst them is this seemingly small settlement built of buildings that have what looks to be have like the cross beams of maybe windows, but you're not sure if there's even any glass in them. There are these like large lights that seem to be on almost like lampposts that seem to be putting out a powerful glow into the area. And kind of filling up the area. They seem to like kind of ring the entire city, and then there's also like on any kind of major thoroughfare. But you don't see like carts or horses or stuff. You see merfolk traveling about, swimming down these thoroughfares. You do occasionally see these large, well, horse-sized seahorses that seem to be riding around almost as horses. And other larger sea beasts occasionally. Like you do see
Crabs?
No, you don't see any crabs. You will see more large sharks like the one you saw before, seemingly with a group of individuals that seem to be in armor.
Lobsters.
No,
Like a rock
oh God.
lobster?
Oh, never would have lobsters. Old memories. You having been part of the one of the areas of the sea may have heard of something. Give me a history check.
I'm proficient in that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, la-di-da.
Rolls a 1.
The way my luck has been lately, that's probably what's gonna happen.
No, give him credit. He's gonna roll a 2.
You got this.
Yeah, 2 is probably better.
24.
So you
There
know
was a 2 in it.
you will know the following things. You actually do know a lot with that 24. You recall stories that the Vidalian Empire, because you've heard of them, the Merfolk Empire. They were originally far from the south, in the south, from where they are now. They were driven away by a race of sentient humanoid lobsters called hominids.
Oh.
Oh yeah, hominids.
Hominids. And hominids actually do plague certain areas of the world now. They prefer much colder waters, like cool waters, so they don't go too warm. But occasionally some long-range ones show up on places like Otaria and Terrasair. They're known for being in the waters off of Spardia, as Sarpadia. I'm sorry, Sarpadia. I keep saying it wrong. I say it wrong all the time. Sarpadia. Because Sarpadia is also like no man's land, pretty much. Most of that territory is infested with thralls. Way too many of them for people to live. Only a couple of like insane creatures or really tough creatures actually make life there. Like there is a group of orcs that live in Sarpadia, that still are alive to this day, and no one knows how, because there's way too many thralls down there. And somehow, you know, with those things breeding like there's no tomorrow, these like little like horrible flesh monsters, they somehow still live with them.
It's like it's because they got like that Warhammer orc stuff, so they think they should live there, so they do.
And they probably eat a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Lovely.
You know, you're infested with giant, like, horrible flesh monsters that could be akin to, like, death roaches or something. I don't know. Just eat them. Make do.
I'll pass eating some death roaches.
They
Thank you.
probably taste really awful. Anyway, having arrived at the city of, or the settlement of Cherenai, you can definitely see that there is a number of, like, houses. On the outskirts, you can see what to be fields of, like, what looks to be some kind of plant. That seems like they have these lights, extra ones, in order to ensure that they grow this deep down. Because even so, it's not completely dark down here, like, but it's pretty dark. You're probably, like, 500 feet down.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Seaweed.
Probably a number of areas that might be construed to be, like, underwater fish farms, things like that. Your vessel will be escorted kind of above top of the main thoroughfare over to the other side of the settlement, where there seems to be a tower of some kind. You can see a number of the armored figures are on top of it, as you'll be led down to park next to the tower. At this point, Jonah and Irun, I keep trying to say, like, something different with him. Irun will come out kind of back as the vessel will stop. But be kind of floating a little bit above the seafloor, kind of almost not quite resting on it. We fortunately ran into, I don't know if we say fortunately or unfortunate, we ran into a patrol of the Empire here. Even if we're on the outskirts of the Empire, there's still a settlement that's well guarded. And the knights here wanted to have a meeting with us. Someone's got to go down there and talk for us and let them know what's going on here. We're really driving you more than anything, so I thought maybe one of your group or a few of your group should be the ones to go. If you want to all go, we're not going to stop you, but I don't know if you all should. Experiencing the world under there might be interesting. There is an area in their tower that you can go into that you should be able to take off the diving gear.
Well, for explaining and negotiating, Maxwell is probably going to be the best.
I agree.
Do you want me to go? I mean, I could also. I probably should.
I feel like you should, as you
know
have
the culture.
right.
The Knights of Vidalia are very strict. They're a powerful order that protects all of the Empire. They're the main soldier caste.
Knights
Boiling sea soldiers?
No.
Again, not in the boiling. If you would like, Maxwell, I could go with you. Otherwise, I'm fine on this ship.
I'd like you to accompany me, Kazran.
Sure. Warning, there would probably be two different members of them, and we should be careful how we approach them. The Vidalian Empire has 5 castes. Each caste is very unique, and though there is some connections between them, we have to be careful that there is still a large xenophobic spread throughout the Empire, wanting to keep to themselves mostly. Now, granted, things have been a little bit more liberal these days, but and that's why there's been a lot more trade with the surface, but we can still maybe meet that with individuals. So be careful there. Now, the main soldiers we'll be seeing are part of the Chernals class. They are the lower class. Laborers, farmers, soldiers, probably most of the city is that. Most likely there'll be a Stovorod, who is in charge here. We'll want to communicate with that one directly, him or her. They are one of the aristocrat groups.
Interesting. I do well with the aristocrats, as I was of noble descent.
Well, most knight outposts tend to be run by at least one of them, as they are they tend to be the aristocrats that focus on martial, equivalent to knight families in our surface world. Or within human empires, I guess would be probably more appropriate in most places. There are some elven knights, but we don't speak of them much. Strange ones.
I see. You sound eccentric from the sound of it.
Probably not as much as you'd think, but comparison to the average member of the Lanois Society and other elven societies around Dominaria, they do tend to be a little eccentric. They are friendly with outsiders.
You mentioned most of them were xenophobic, correct?
Nowadays it's a lot better. Our friends who run the ship have obviously been able to stop by here before. That means this city probably alright. But we have to look out for members of the city who might quite hate us and would act probably not dangerously accordingly, but
I feel like this is where a shapeshifter can come in. As I look at Claude.
I could attempt it. Only thing is that they do figure me out, they might be more insulted.
You could inform them of your abilities.
It's also possible.
Since you seem to be able to speak without the need of breathing, I'm pretty sure you could attempt to communicate with them down there, Maxwell. Perhaps you should go first. I would leave your mask off. They are no stranger to the dead, just not often encountering it.
You're strange, Max.
Does that mean I'm going to get water on my skin?
What skin?
You don't have any.
I'm more concerned about my outfit than I am myself. Do you have a spare pair of clothing that I can use?
Why not just go naked?
I'm pretty sure people would be scared of a naked skeleton approaching them.
He just said that they see dead
No,
people all the time.
I would say no more than a clothed one.
I take off my
enough.
clothing and swallow my pride.
Carry Wolf.
I'll go first.
Okay. So you'll be led down into like kind of the storeroom, which you can see it's filled with all kinds of boxes, crates, and barrels and stuff. The storeroom under it is filled. You're not sure what's in any of these. You do see that hanging up on the one wall near here seems to be a number of suits. It looks to be about half a dozen of these suits. They look like basically the old diving suits, except rather than like, so it's got like the big metal like top with like one like small like porthole, and then like big metal boots and gloves and stuff, and like rudimentary like diving tanks. So they're probably non-pressurized, I would say.
I see.
Yeah. So you probably have very limited air with one of these tanks. And they're pretty big tanks to put on your back, too.
Okay.
So these things
Is
are
there
probably really heavy. You don't need any of that.
Right, I just want something like aesthetically pleasing.
If you need some kind of clothes, if you want to wear something, let me see what I've got here. Here, you can use these. He'll like reach through one box that looks to be like some general supplies, and he'll pull up a set of robes that look like probably student robes from the academy.
I can work with these. It's better than going bone naked.
He kind of like Jonas can kind of look at you and be like, I don't get it.
Does he not see? I'm not wearing clothes.
I mean, he sees it fine. He's just like, I don't get it.
Jonah's really chill, apparently.
Yeah.
It's a boiling sea skeleton.
By the way,
No.
if when this is all said and done, can you come like visit my lab for a little bit? I did a dissertation a while ago on necromancy, and I'd love to study you.
Sure. I'll help as much as I possibly can. I'm probably a unique case, but hopefully I can help.
Most intelligent undead tend to be specter types, or very powerful zombies.
Right. I'm more of an alchemical experiment, but
Yeah,
I'll see what we can do.
I've never seen. There might be stories of an intelligent skeleton, but I don't know of any off the top of my head.
Why is it so chill about being experimented on?
Well, he just wanted to study me.
That's what they all say.
He's writing his dissertation. I'll allow it. He's a fellow writer.
Just come into my lab and let me do some tests.
What's he gonna do?
on-
Pants me? Like, come on.
Disassemble you.
Uh-oh.
Pull your bones out of your socket.
Pull my tongue out and just take like 100 damage and just dead on the spot.
Well, hey, then you won't have to worry about any more tongue jokes.
Right?
Guess. Won't have to worry about anything.
We'll take a licking with that.
Nice Nerf gun, by the way.
Yeah, I just pulled it out because I knew he was going to make a joke like that. I was going to threaten.
Too quick for you.
There is no threat through the internet.
Not yet. Figure
I mean,
I'll
I
beat
could get
off.
my Nerf gun out and shoot myself for you if you like.
Do it. Do it.
You won't.
Coward.
It's over there. I don't feel like getting up and go getting it right this second.
Coward.
When we go to break.
Anyway, so he'll like open up this like this large he'll like seemingly play around with something, and he'll like kind of like turn this one device, then he'll follow up with like this kind of lever, like hit some kind of button, and then he will like on this kind of like large hatch with a big like metal turn on it, he'll turn it and then kind of pop it up, and you can see that there is now seawater with a kind of like small almost tube out the bottom.
Interesting.
He'll kind of just motion. There's like a little ladder down the tube if you need to use that. So it's like 3 feet of like air and then water.
What is this? Like a bathysphere?
Think of it like a bathysphere that it's got like the bottom open that you can go directly into the water with. That's using
Like a diving bell.
like a diving bell.
Okay.
So
I guess I go in it.
Yeah, it seems like the like tube is made to allow like if there's some sloshing of the ship, it doesn't get water in.
Oh, cool.
All right, you take a dive into the water. You can tell it's cold down here. I mean, definitely.
It's just me in this, right?
Yeah, you'll kind of just plummet down in your robes that'll kind of like flutter and floof around you and be kind of like hard to control. down maybe 10 feet after you hit the water before you hit the ground into like the sediment, as like kind of like some sand and stuff kind of poof around you. As soon as like you get the robes out of the way, you see there is a trident in your face. So they send a walking dead to represent them. As you see, like, this, with the other hand, like, one hand on the trident, the other hand, he takes off this, like, face shield. As you can see this, like, human-looking figure beneath it. Some vaguely human-looking figure.
Ah, a fellow connoisseur of masks. Hello, how are you?
So, you know how to speak. Are you the representative of this group?
Yes, sir, I am. I bear no ill will and simply want to talk.
The commander will speak with you.
Sure.
Are you waiting for the others?
Yes, kind of. I was kind of thrown into this very quickly. It all happened very fast.
Well, I'm saying, are you waiting for the others? Not,
oh, am I waiting for the others?
Are you going to say something to this guy about waiting for the others, or are you just going to go with him?
Okay. A few of my friends are interested in coming along, but if you need just me, I can also happily come with.
Tell them to hurry up.
All right, we'll do, good sir. I'll be right back. Whoop!
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Can I
easily
like tug on it or something? Does
no. You
Oh.
you can try swimming.
I'm not gonna do that. That's
With
a waste of my
disadvantage
time.
because you are 10 feet from where the thing is.
I'm just gonna ride it back up. I'll be right back, good sir.
How?
Well, it's like a rope, right?
No.
No.
He fell
It
out
was
the
just
bottom.
an opening. He jumped
Oh,
out.
I did fall out the bottom.
Yeah, you fell out the bottom, 10 feet down at the bottom.
And you,
Okay.
I don't know if you can swim very well.
I don't think so. Okay,
try
excuse me, good sir. I seem to have encountered an accident related to my descending. Is there any means of you being able to help me back up to my my ship? Your commander is free to come as well.
No.
Okay, well, excuse me while I try to fumble my way back. I try to swim.
Athletics with disadvantage. You don't float.
I do not float.
You're very
And you're in
sneaky
wet
boy.
Give me a
Whoa.
nat 20, baby! Oh, that's actually not bad.
Okay.
Considering.
That's competent.
Mm-hmm. The sheer
Especially in
fact that
wet
you're
room.
only bone, and bone has a little bit of buoyancy to it, is the only reason that you kind of fumble awfully up into the thing. You know, it is the most like. Fortunately, there's like no currents or anything here, and it takes you a little while. But you fumbly like just try to like move your hands as if you'd be swimming, and like you move kind of as your like robes are getting in the way.
Is he drowning?
Can't.
Like the
I
people.
know, but it looks like he's drowning.
Should we check on him?
I would put on one of these suits beforehand. Should we put a suit on?
Yeah. I'll put the suit. I'll go down and put.
Okay.
I will head down and put a suit on too.
Oh, Carrion, Wintress, either of you joining?
I am staying right here on this ship.
I'm scared of the boiling sea skeleton that's drowning.
Goodbye, he can't drown, he's dead.
Oh no! He thought he was our friend!
He was already dead.
He drowned!
He can't
Doesn't
drown.
have lungs.
I'm still swimming, by the way.
You haven't quite made it there.
now.
His post-mortem twitches are so sad.
Oh, I guess I'll try to look like a mer person.
You can, remember, you unlocked a new merperson for him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But you also look monstrous merfolky because you are a sky shroud merfolk.
Yeah,
Like
that's right.
the Vidalian merfolk tend to be either very human on their top halves to like mixture between human and fish. It's kind of like
I'm more fish.
you are way more fish. And you also kind of look like, you know, like horrible deep sea fish.
So like the goblin shark that you posted.
There you go.
That's
God.
his face.
Only a face a mother could love.
I don't even think a mother could love that one.
I'll stay with you, Carrie.
Besides, the root water merfolk.
I'm just gonna. I'm going
His
to
opinion is
pop
that
on.
resembled an eel rather than a fish. There you go.
I am going to put on a thing, and then tie a rope to the top of like the thing that we're going in, and let it fall down so that we have a way back up.
Okay.
Smart.
And then I'll go down to join my friend.
All right.
Are you good? You.
This has
Can
been
we
the
even
worst
talk to
experience
him?
I've had in a long time.
Like, you can't really talk to him very well.
It just
Oh.
kind of goes, oh,
Yeah, because you have the mask on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me though?
I'm gonna say they can hear you enough. It's
Okay.
it's like muted and not really great, but they can definitely sort of hear you.
I'm going to be using my arcane tinkering communicate because I can have it say a short phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Bob.
Okay.
It's just. It's talking, kinda.
Okay.
I think I probably still need a suit, right?
Yes. You probably do not need the air tank, but you definitely need the suit because, definitely.
Pressure. Just because I look like one doesn't mean I can.
Also,
act like
best example of what he actually no. If you go down there as a merfolk, you are immune to the pressure.
it. Oh, okay.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
They are fish. They have ways of adapting their bodies to pressure.
Then I will jump down there. I won't bother.
And the root
guys
water,
the short
the root water was technically a sea, so it did go pretty deep. It was a deep black sea under a forest, so it never had any light to begin with. But and also if you're looking for 10th edition root water matriarch, look up that picture for how root water merfolk looks. Disturbing.
So what did Kazran use for his short phrase?
Are you okay?
No. No. They want us to meet their boss. Bring the others.
Well, I just jumped down as a merfolk, as my merfolk form.
Okay. Can you speak underwater perfectly?
The people will put up their things if it's on seeing, like another merfolk appear.
Complicated.
Are you saying anything to this? They seem on guard.
Can I speak?
Sure.
Okay. I can alter my form.
Well, the one that was kind of been talking to you, Maxwell, you'll hear under his breath, "Blasted spellcasters."
My apologies, good sir. He's friendly. I look at Claude and say, we need the rest of our allies. They want us to meet their leader.
I don't know what he's been hanging around with, but looks like the ass end of the world.
Who, me or Claude?
Claude.
God.
He is.
I may
hard.
not be the most beautiful thing, but I can survive down here in this form.
There are other merfolks in the world other than the Vidalia ones, and they do have various small differences between them, but yes, so.
Yeah.
Yes. He was blessed with the gift of gab, not the gift of good looks, unfortunately, with this form.
Looks like a razor fin had its ways with one of our kind.
I just shrug at that. Did my brain just died on his name. Our friend jumped down too?
Oh yeah, Nim will jump down.
Okay. I think this is all that's coming.
Okay. Shall we
He's gonna
carry
be,
on?
waving his hands.
What was the name? I never asked the name of this guy, right?
Not at all.
Excuse me, sir. I don't think I got your name.
Really?
Well, you can call me Maxwell. I smile with like my bony expression.
I am Claude.
Kazran.
I'm a merchant. My friend Claude is a
And
shapeshifter. Kazran is a goblin artificer, and
That's
Nim is a. What is Nim?
Nim's an
Travel.
elf.
A whore.
Nim is our lovely ambassador,
Our leader.
our leader, and we all work together along with a few more of our friends.
I am Lightseeker Knight Udam.
What was it? Uda?
Udam.
Udam.
Lightseeker Knight Udam.
That's a very prestigious sounding title, Udam.
Is my rank. Understand it.
Will do. I have nothing but respect for you, as I am one of nobility as well.
He'll look at you with kind of like, you understand nothing.
I kind of twiddle my thumbs. It's like, tell me more.
Follow me.
Will do.
He's going to lead you into the building, and eventually he will lead you into what appears to be. He will actually lead you down under the tower. Those of you in the suits will definitely find them kind of clunky, kind of hard. You're already, like, it doesn't take you long, Nim, you and Kazran, to feel like, yeah, you know, these are really hard to move around in, they weigh a lot, and you probably have, like, maybe, like, 20 minutes of air.
I got smaller lungs.
You also have probably a smaller backpack,
That's
you know?
Is this connected with like an air tube, or do they just have a thing on their back?
It's like, it does have like a little like loose tube into the back of like the helmet, but it's like, think of like a giant air tank, because they don't have compressed air.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, they don't have
Yeah, I didn't know if there was like a
regulators.
line leading back from
There
the
is
thing
a line
to
leading,
down
it's
there.
a basic tube that seems
No,
to
he
overcome-
meant back to the ship.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, they don't have that. There's like a
Like
tube
balloons.
connected to the top of this like large tank, where then like like something in the back was opened up like a valve, and all it is just a tank complaining air.
Huh.
That they basically would let circulate in an area to refill it.
Neat.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, you'll
Better
be...
than the tube.
So you'll be led inside and down a set of stairs into probably looks like more like a dungeon area. You'll be led down into like a kind of back room, in which what you can see is the floor kind of gives way on this room. In which all of you that are in the suits will definitely see that it is kind of hard. You basically have the same problems as Maxwell, but for different reasons. You have the same problem swimming because the suit's heavy. Maxwell has the same problem because he doesn't float and has no buoyancy. The only one that's had anytime decent swimming is the person that currently has a swim speed.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
I can swim.
Swim.
I'm gonna swim with the fishes.
But anyway, so it'll kind of go down a little bit, and you can see that there is like a area that's like almost like a pocket of air. That's kind of like separated off by this kind of like this kind of two-step glass wall. So you see it's got this glass wall, and then a secondary glass wall, so that the that kind of goes below it, with a space in between it, where it kind of has like, it looks like there's a... What's the best way of describing this? Let me try to do this with like hand motion. So, from the side, it'd be glass wall here, glass wall here. There'd be a walkway down here with it, so you come out over here from like a little opening to like a floor area. There is like an opening right here where a merfolk could come up under the air and be at your level. Think of it that way.
Oh, it's like a staggered level.
Yeah, it's got a staggered level. So it's got like a higher area of water where like a merfolk could get to, could like emerge into the air to communicate with you, and then it's got the lower one where you're supposed to kind of like, it's got a ladder there, or like, you know, actually it's probably got like just like a rope up if you need help, or you can just swim.
Okay. Cool.
I'll swim up and then just like plop myself up and just kind of let myself turn back to human.
Most
take the
air
rope.
breathers that end up here usually just, we deal with them running out of magic, or they're unceremoniously taken here.
If you'd give me legit one more level, I could be able to breathe underwater.
The Knight Commander will be here shortly.
Sounds
Thank you.
Adam will leave, and will leave a number of guards that still have their full armor on. So you can see how like their upper bodies are completely armored, where their lower bodies seem to have a lot less armor. It kind of is almost like a kind of like so that their tails are ready for swimming. You can see there's some places along their tails where like almost like things have been attached to the scales to kind of give a little bit of armor in places. But it seems like their upper bodies are most of the places where this kind of like coral armor is, with kind of like
No, not the Carls.
coral. Damn it. Damn it. Coral armor. I keep trying to do it. Where you can see that looks like when you get a close look at it, there does seem to be an actual like type of like maybe metal or like something similar to it that's on the underneath it with these kind of like coral juttings come almost grafted to it.
Are these guys talkative at all?
They are not making any motions. They are not speaking. Each of them has a trident that they seem to be holding, like close, kind of like in two hands.
I'm gonna look at Nim and just go, is there any way of addressing that we should know of?
Fascinating. I don't know how this place gets supplied with air. Magic, maybe? Oh, sorry. Once the Knight Commander appears, I'm sure that's the person that we are looking to of the higher class. So we should be very respectful of he or she.
Is there
I agree.
any certain name, like lordship or something that we should say? A
Probably
specific title?
not really. Maybe just as Commander, or full title Knight Commander, if you wish to be a little bit more formal.
Do you think we should bow in his presence?
They don't really bow down here. And be careful. We've only seen male merfolk, but the interesting thing about their society here is they are completely equal opportunity to all the genders. Though some societies, and I know within Dominaria, there are sometimes partitionings. They are similar to my own elven society. Granted, there are certain jobs that only women can take, but they're usually quite actually very fine jobs.
Sounds interesting.
Oh, yes. Seems like in my society, women are actually treated a little better than most others. But they don't tell them they lord it over you. I really
Good to
don't
know.
Yeah. Not ever since I stopped back home briefly and met an old relative of mine, and she was quite audible about my entire staying back home. But that's besides the point.
Can I try talking to one of the guards?
Sure.
I look at both of them and say, "Your armor looks lovely. Is it made in waves, or is it custom tailored for each of you?"
They do not respond to you at all.
Dang. I say my apologies as I just kind of look at the party.
They may be ordered to be quiet.
That's fair.
It might also be the fact that maybe they are not don't have like a permission to speak to us.
Right.
That's fair.
They might also not like it.
Those are also
valid.
very possible things.
Right. Well, I still feel like attempting some sort of semblance of positivity is still somewhat good, at least from a diplomatic standpoint.
Yes,
Sure.
I just wouldn't push it.
Of course.
Oh. Now you've got me all worried about home again. Ugh. Never mind. Sorry, just thinking of something.
What do you mean we've got you worried about home? You brought it up.
It's just my age meeting me once again.
Ah. Could understand that very well.
Yes. Oh, it looks like someone's showing up. So you will see someone in a vastly different set of armor. You will see a female merfolk in what looks to be almost scale armor. But you realize that these scales are made of like large, maybe some kind of fish scale, and that they are like shining, almost as if they look like made of some kind of precious material. They are finely layered under like what looks to be like multiple layers of these scaling armor, and it seems almost form-fitting the way that it's put onto her too. As it goes down to her hands, you can see that she is very human in her appearance. She has this kind of like short, kind of waft hair that kind of comes up. You can see that she actually has another knight accompanying her that seems to be carrying a helmet for her, and also like has what most likely is her weapon in hand, which seems to be a double-sided trident.
Ooh, the Dident.
I don't know if that's actually correct, but we'll go with it.
By trident.
Hexton?
I don't know, because it's kind of like the double.
I just did it for the pun.
It's the kind of the double axe thing. But anyway, so are we the surface to all the travelers? This ship has been down here before, but last time it was here, there was a different commander in the area. I'm in charge of here now.
Yes, ma'am. We are the surface dwellers. My name is Maxwell. I'm accompanied by my friends Claude, Kazran, and Nim. May I ask who I have the pleasure of speaking to?
Knight Commander Asara Oza.
Miss Asara, I wanted to actually compliment you on your armor. It looks very lovely.
What do you what business do you have with our city?
I look at Nim.
Oh, yes, sorry. That's my job. I'm traveling, and I wish to head to Slinn Voda. That's the reason why we're here, is we were coming to accompany me and my bodyguards, that's all these folks here, hired on our old friends with the submersible to travel down here to arrange that. I'm unsure if you've ever heard of me. We go by Nim. I'm an elf of Lanoir. I'm an old friend to your current Emperor and Empress, Emperor Mihai II. If you're unaware of my relations at all, good thing I brought this with me. Crush this thing and not having very easily accessible pockets. Give me a moment. You see he's gonna kind of like fumble around with actually like unhooking parts of the suit to get into his clothes underneath the suit. You know, like taking off part of it.
Right.
Don't worry, this will just take a moment. Apologies.
I look at, what was her name again? I can't pronounce that.
Asara.
Asara.
I put it in
Asara,
chat here. Asara. Oh, I put an X accidentally. Asara Ozo.
Okay. Asara, while my compatriot is taking his
She's
time
gonna
to
look
suit-
at you with like deadly glare. You don't even
apologies.
roll insight. You know.
Wait, I roll insight?
You don't have to roll insight to know that you just stepped on a big thing here.
Oh. My apologies, madam.
You will address me as Knight Commander, and do not be friendly with me, undead. Your kind are very lowly tolerated here. Most of the time, you're cleaned out of the bottom of the sea. Remnants of dead sailors that seem to want to come back. Twisted creations.
I nod and say, I understand.
If it wasn't for agreements with the surfaces, those of you that speak, well, there's reasons why you're not eliminated on sight. Even so, most of you seem to be foul beings that only seem to destroy all that lives. I'm surprised you don't give. I'm surprised you don't give in to your base feelings.
With all due respect, can you elaborate what you mean by the destruction part?
Your kind are the antithesis of life. Did you realize that? Have you not seen what the waves of zombies and skeletons do under the armies of a necromancer, or when they are created in places like the island of Urborg? We have heard the tales down here. They hunt the living, for no good reason other than they live.
I don't deny the heinous acts of the undead, but I also don't deny that there are people out there who are in a position similar to I that are troubled by experiments related to that.
There's reasons why the seas around Urborg are oftentimes kept off limits to our people.
Understandably so. Urborg is a heinous place.
Ah, here it is. Ah, yes. I believe this will let you know everything. It should be authentic. I do expect it to return to me. You should be able to authenticate it, and I hope that you can open some communication lines with your people to let them know about my arrival down here, and that I do wish to speak with the Emperor himself. I understand most likely he's not within Slinn Voda, but if there's an opportunity for him to visit there...
I hold the item from Nim and I offer it.
I mean, he can offer it. You're in
or
air.
he- okay, yeah, he
you're in,
offers
you're
it.
in air right now. It's a ring.
Right. That's a ring. Okay.
Yes. She'll take it, kind of look at it, kind of like look at a lot of you, and then swim off, accompanied by the knight that's with her. Why don't we take our first break here? We're a little later than I wanted to go, but we are only going to 10:30 today, so we're going to take a quick break, go bathroom, go get a snack, go get a drink, and then we're going to have our last hour here. So do that, and we'll be back, and we'll continue our adventures in here in Cherenai, dealing with the Knights of Vidalia. So, be back in a second, folks.
Mom.